Hello everyone, it is Delancey and welcome back to my channel. Today I am getting into the holiday spirit and I'm talking about all of the books I am hoping to read during this holiday season. And yes, I am totally one of those people who is celebrating Christmas early, way before it is even Thanksgiving, but you know, I'm really into the holiday spirit this year and your girl needs it. So how I will structure this video is the first few books that I'm going to talk about are going to be holiday themed books. And from there I will go into non-holiday themed fiction books and then finally to a couple of the nonfiction books that I'm hoping to get to this winter break. So the first holiday themed fiction book that I'm interested in reading this season is One Day in December by Josie Silver. This is an adult romance novel and it takes place right around the beginning of December. We have this woman named Lori who doesn't believe in love at first sight. She feels like a lot of the love cliches are best left to the movies, but when she gets onto a bus one December, I think, evening, she looks out the window and sees a man at the bus stop and she instantly falls in love with him. And so she spends the rest of that December trying to find this guy at other bus stops, at cafes in London, but it's no use. Turns out she ends up reuniting with this guy, whose name turns out to be Jack, at a Christmas party of one of her friends. And Jack, this guy, is introduced as Sarah, Lori's friend's boyfriend, of course. So then the novel takes place over the course of, I believe, 10 years of just sort of this back and forth, dating on and off, all of sort of the crazy love antics that go on between Lori, Jack, and Sarah. The story sounds like a very heartwarming, unconventional love story, so I'm very interested. It explores themes such as heartbreak, friendship, missed opportunities, and roads not taken. I also just got the green light from my library to pick up this book from the hold section, so I'm hopefully getting to it very soon. The second book I want to read is You Better Not Cry by Augustin Burroughs. This is a collection of short stories that all center around Christmas. There are apparently funny stories, but also very serious stories, all exploring Christmas past and present, showing how Christmas and the holidays in general bring out the best as well as the worst in us. There's not much else quite to say about this book, but I'm definitely interested. It's been a while since I've read a collection of short stories, so I'd really like to revisit that type of a book. I think it would be just a great book to read in the weeks leading up to Christmas. The next book is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Kahn and David Levithan. These are the same authors as Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. This is a YA contemporary that starts when a girl named Lily puts a bunch of challenges into a red notebook and she leaves it on the shelf of a bookstore in the hopes that some cute boy, the right boy for her, will find this notebook, accept all of the dares that she has posed in it. Now, I feel like personally this would not work out well for me, but it works out for Lily, and Dash comes along and decides to accept this notebook challenge. So the majority of this novel is them going back and forth throughout New York City, corresponding back and forth through the notebook, leaving it in different places. It kind of sounds like a John Green novel to me. I feel like this could be made into a Netflix special. I don't know, so we'll see. It was recommended to me on Goodreads, so I'm gonna trust the Goodreads. And then the final holiday themed book that I'm interested in reading is the literary masterpiece that is Pupcakes by Annie England Noblin. I originally had no idea what this book was about. I was in Los Angeles and I was browsing a Barnes & Noble and I saw this book on a shelf, and just the cover alone got me so excited for the holidays and put me in the holiday spirit. It just put a huge smile on my face, so I felt like I had to honor this book by picking it up and reading it. So it really was just judging the book by its cover. I'm actually reading the book right now. I have the audiobook for it, and I'm like 2 hours in out of 9, and I already have so many thoughts that I cannot wait to share with you. But anyways, this is an adult contemporary novel. It's the story of this girl who recently goes through a divorce like in her mid-30s, and she somehow comes across the opportunity to become a house sitter for this elderly woman who has recently been admitted to a retirement home. Now her house is going to be sold soon, but in the meantime she needs someone to watch the house. And with the house comes Teddy the pug. So you know, that's the star of this book. It's a really fun book thus far. I really enjoyed it. It's very easy to listen to, and it already is seriously reminding me of a Hallmark movie. Like I said, in my wrap-up, I will have many things to say about Pupcakes. Now, moving into the non-holiday themed fictional books I'm interested in reading. The first one is The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I actually went ahead and ordered this trilogy for myself off of, I think, Book Depository. I'm already just a huge Brandon Sanderson fan, so I really wanted to personally own his books. It takes place in the Cosmere universe, a universe that's very prominent in a lot of Sanderson's novels. To give an idea of the setting, a great war has taken place, the classic war between good and evil, and it turns out the bad side wins. So this evil overlord for the past 1,000 years has just been living the good life, enslaving all the peasants and ruining people's lives, and there have been a lot of attempted rebellions that have been unfortunately squashed, but nevertheless hope remains, and there is a growing resistance. That's about all I know plot-wise. I also have been told that there is a really interesting magic system, people getting superpowers through the ingestion of metals, so sounds really interesting, and everything I've read of Brandon Sanderson's thus far I've really enjoyed, so very excited to get to this. I definitely have my work cut out for me though. The next book I am interested in reading is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, I think it is. This is a very popular book on BookTube, so I'm sure you have seen it or heard about it by now. This is a YA contemporary novel. I believe this is a love to hate hate to love romance novel between the son of the American president and a prince over in Great Britain. Apparently it's hilarious and heartwarming and just all the feels, and actually one of my old roommates texted me and told me that I needed to read this book immediately, and it was one of her favorite books from this year, and Maddie is like my hero when it comes to books and writing, so if Maddie recommends me a book, you best believe I'm gonna read it. And the final fictional book I am interested in reading this holiday season is The Survival Game by Nikki Singer. This book was recommended to me by a fellow booktuber, Rihanna. We have a group of a bunch of booktubers over on Instagram, and we recommend books to each other every month. So it is Rihanna's month, and she says that The Survival Game is a really awesome book. I personally don't know a whole lot about it, and even reading the Goodreads synopsis, I think it leaves a lot up to the imagination. It's set in a world where there are lots of borders and checkpoints. It's a very savage, aggressive world, and it's about this young girl who is staying tough and staying strong and trying to go north past all these border checkpoints, and she meets a young boy and is trying to get him to safety as well. I don't know a whole lot going into this book, but Rihanna really likes it, so I hope to get to it this holiday season as well. So thank you for the recommendation, Rihanna. And now moving into the two nonfiction books I hope to read this winter break. The first one is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is a book for creatives. If you are someone who is looking to write a book, if you are an actor, or if you just have any sort of creative passion or creative hobby, this book is for you. It talks about the mysterious nature of inspiration. How do we find inspiration? How can we embrace our curiosity? And how can we face our common fears as creative people? This is all about attitudes, approaches, and daily habits that we can use that can help us tap into our inner creatives and just live a more creative life in general. And the final book of this holiday season is How to Be Everything by Emily Wapnick. This is actually my boyfriend's copy of the book. When I was in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago and visiting him, he really encouraged me to take this book home with me and to read it, so thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that. This book challenges the notion that if you are somebody who has lots of interests in life, lots of passions, that as you go through life, you will ultimately become a jack of all trades, but truly a master of none. This book argues that it's okay to be a multi-potentialite, and it's actually a really great strength. So this book tackles, the insecurities you may feel if you're not entirely sure yet what you want to be when you grow up. It gives you tips for balancing a busy schedule if you have lots of projects in differing fields going on, and how to give your best for each of your unique interests. It also talks about how you can combine all of your varying, differing interests to create a career that may be unconventional, but is fulfilling and can provide a very stable, prosperous income. I'm not surprised that my boyfriend recommended this book to me. I frequently will feel overwhelmed or will put a lot of stress on myself because I I feel like, you know, I have to pick one thing to do in my life and have to be really good at it in order to be successful. That's hard for me because I find that I do have a lot of interests in varying different fields that seem to have no rhyme or reason to them. My boyfriend is always telling me that it's okay to not fit neatly into one box, so I really appreciate that, and thank you, Steve. I hope to read this very, very soon. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for my TBR. Comment down below which books you are planning to read this holiday season, and I will catch you in the next one. P.S. I did recently start making a holiday Spotify playlist, so if you're looking for some holiday tunes, I will shamelessly plug that down below. Anyways, okay. See you guys in the next one. Bye.